Coach?
We can't start anything we do without giving God the glory. To God be the glory. Just so, again, thankful, for the opportunity to play a game and to glorify His name, playing a game, man, with our energy, our effort, and our passion.
This is such a bittersweet moment. Celebrating a tremendous accomplishment orchestrated by Coach Amir, and then have to award the Coach of the Year honor to his family posthumously. How hard is this on both the American Athletic Conference as well as South Florida?
Well, I think for the conference, the thing that's remarkable about who Amir was and what he did was he was not in the conference for a long time. But the more people I've spoken to and the more I've understood what his impact has been, it was deep and permanent. It was almost like he was coaching in the league for 20 years. And that's what I think is special about this. I don't think this situation could be any harder on anyone other than his family. And when we first started to talk about, we felt compelled right away to be able to do something permanent to honor who he was and what he stood for because of this impact he had, not only on his own student athletes, but kids that competed against him, other coaches, people across the country. I reached out to Michael with this idea, and the first thing we agreed on was we just want to make sure that this is something that is okay with his family, that they would feel good about. Because the last thing you want to do is do anything that some people are private about things like this. But we were really pleased to propose it and have it be really, really well received. And I think it's the least we can do. He's had a short-term permanent impact on the American, and he deserves to be honored in this way forever.
We're just so grateful to Commissioner Pernetti and to the American for bestowing this honor on Amir and the family and the whole staff. He handled it perfectly. We did talk to the family, and they're honored. Obviously, while it's been crushing for them, crushing for this whole community, it's certainly one that to see the impact he had, to see that being recognized beyond just even his basketball acumen, but to the impact he made on so many. I mean, to think about, so appropriate that we had a chance as an institution to name the student section after him. As you've seen, the student section crowd continues to be great because of what he kind of fed into them and this feeling of belief that came through our student body and our university and our Tampa Bay community. So this is a great honor. We appreciate the commissioner and the conference for doing this. I know the family feels the same.
My last question, thank you for your time today. The American is thriving, 6-2 in bowl games with football, winning the Bowl Challenge Championship. How important is it to set the table for the rest of the season, having a successful football program, which USF was a big part of with that 5 overtime win out in Hawaii? How important is it to set the table for the rest of your athletic programs?
I don't think I could have said it any better. I think the conference is thriving. And in a time where there's just, complete chaos and instability around the entire industry, we're taking great pride in the fact that we've got focused institutions that care about trying to build something really special. And over the course of time, thinking about doing things differently. Like I've proposed a lot of really different innovative ideas, and I think in college in general, which has been an industry that's been risk averse, which is maybe why we arrived where we are, I was wondering how they'd be met. But universally in our conference, we have people that have vision, and we have really good leaders, led by this guy right here. And we need to do things differently. I don't know what all these monikers mean. I don't care. But I know the American sits in its own slot in the hierarchy based on what we've achieved together. I for one, missed Santa Claus that night. I stayed up for the 5 overtimes of the USF game. I was the only one up in my house watching the end of that game. But football the season became unpredictable, which I think is a sign of a really well-rounded league. And I think what you're going to see in men's basketball and women's basketball down the stretch is you're going to see the same thing. Every time someone predicts what's going to happen next, something changes, and that's a sign of a really well-rounded conference.
I'm going to just go on record as saying this, and if y'all want to put this out, put it out. Man, all these people who do the net rankings or whatever, that stuff, man, you come spend a night in the American Conference, okay? You come spend a night playing basketball in the American Conference. I don't want to hear nobody talk about our league is this, our league. Our league is dang good. You top to bottom, our league is one of the best in the country, okay? And I'm tired of hearing about, it's this. No, man. Like, we got really good teams, really good players, and dang good coaches. Because that Ron Hunter over there on that other sideline tonight, dang good coach. All right, now I'll get off my soapbox now and let you talk to these guys.
To a spring football practice and basically gave close to an hour speech to the players. They won't talk about it, which is great, but he was that kind of guy that influenced not just basketball, but all people, didn't he?
Players of all sports here saw what was happening, saw the magic that was happening last year and what he brought to them, and they all wanted a piece of it. And he was glad to share it, and he was willing to share that with anybody, and obviously gave his all to so many things. And the award that Commissioner's presenting him today in an honorary standpoint, as has been reported before, and I said it at a previous press conference, that's what's again part of the magic to him too. He said at this very seat that he was going to name that award after he was going to change the label to Staff of the Year from Coach of the Year. And then, as I said to you, I was in the as we walked down the stairs to a press conference when we announced Coach Fletcher as the interim coach. When we looked at the trophy there in the conference room in the men's basketball office, lo and behold, Staff of the Year.
I've said to you guys before, I never got into coaching because I like to coach. I mean, I like the game, guys. I do. I love the game. But I love being able to share my experiences with young people to try to help them be better than I was on the court and off the court. And I've said this from day one, and I'll say it with him sitting right here. He knows how much I love him, but, man, this dude right here is the MVP of our team. He is the MVP of our team. It's not even a question about it, because he trusted me when he didn't really have to, right? He could have, bumped up and said, but he said, no, like, you asked me to do it, I'll do whatever you need me to do, Coach. I got you. So to be able to take him out of that game and for him to be able to hear how much these people appreciate him, man, that's what it's about for me, man.
It'll make me cry, man.
Man, I'm sorry, man. I can't help it, man, because, man, it's just great to see growth in young people, man, when they start to see themselves as more than just basketball players, when they start to see themselves as men, and I guarantee you, he knows now, whether it's basketball or whatever it may be, he knows what to do and how to go be successful, and that's what it's about. Like, honestly, guys, I don't need a piece of net or a ring to tell me I'm a good coach, not when, like, these guys are, they respond. Like, that tells me right there. Dang. Got me, man.